Now let's pop over to the Generate tab. This is where you would put in your own piece of content and then you decide how you want the dialogue to sound. It will allow you to only make a certain amount each day unless you are on like a higher level account. I'm using this just with my regular Google Workspace, so that's where I'm tapping out here. So I have an article from last year all about Caitlin Clark being the person of the year. Of course, I could press play and in 40 minutes hear this whole article read aloud like a podcast. But if I want to just grab the link, you see it there at the top of my screen. I'm just going to copy it and then paste it in here. I'll give us a little more real estate and paste it in here. Then I can add it into my set of resources. I could add more resources about Caitlin Clark, but if my goal was to have students read a high interest informational text, but it might be a little higher level than what I want to share with them, or I want them to hear this kind of starter conversation first, right? This would be my goal, to create some supplemental resources. Hi there, Monica here with a quick pause. This is a clip from a masterclass in my Easy EdTech Club. You can join hundreds of educators in the group right now. There's a link in the caption to learn more. To create some supplemental resources that would give them some background, perhaps before we dived into this big article. Also, a great option if you have, say, something that's very domain specific, like for social studies or science classroom, but you want students to be able to listen a bit, particularly if some reading comprehension struggles might pop up. So now that I've popped this in, I'm going to say, do I want this to be more formal, more guided? It gives me a description here. I'll zoom out a bit so you get a clearer view, or more free form, where I choose the host and the guest and then type in the prompt. So we'll stick with casual for now, and then I'll hit generate. This can take a few minutes. You can see that I model this for groups when I do like in-person professional development sometimes. So I've got a few keyed up. Now this is all the same article, but you'll notice when I've done this in the past with the same article, it's given me outputs of different lengths. Kind of similar to how when you use generative AI like ChatGPT or Gemini, and you can ask the same question or task and it gives you a different response. So let's take a look at this one that was already generated, so we're not waiting. You'll see it gives a conversation about this article and that same reminder about how this is generative AI. You might bring this up on a big board for a classroom and share these disclosures with your students. Let's listen for a moment here.
Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. So Caitlin Clark, Athlete of the Year. That's a pretty big deal, huh?
Huge. And deserved, I think. This woman completely changed the game.
Changed the game? How so? I mean, she's a great basketball player, but...
So let's pause there. Just like before, I have all these similar features, although the share button will require it to fully upload, so that might take a moment. It will give you a link like we saw before, but if you're not sure if students will be able to click on a link, or you definitely don't want them signing in someplace, downloading is the best option, and then you can, of course, share that downloaded file, just adding it to a learning management system or LMS for kids to have easy access. If you model this full experience here, you can also show how you can raise your hand, type in a question, and then you'll get that audio response about whatever resource, in this case, just that one thing that we uploaded here. So this is Illuminate. We looked at the Explore tab, the Generate tab, and then My Library is where all of your stuff will live.